A very good morning to all the listeners. Students, we are continuing our topic from yesterday's chapter, Development Economics, first chapter. Your NCERT page number 3 and 4 we discussed yesterday. We discussed about table 1.1. I gave you an idea, a general view about development. I told you that development is everybody's concern. We progress, we go forward, we go further, and everybody wants to go further. Even if we see history, even if we see political science, even if we see geography, any branch of knowledge, we go further. Yesterday we discussed in detail about development, that it is everybody's concern. Even if it is a developed country or a developing country, they all develop. Even if there is a prosperous farmer, and even if there is a small landless rural laborer, they all aspire for development. They have aspirations, they have goals to achieve. No matter, there are different people having different developmental goals, because according to the situation and circumstances. Because a rural landless laborer cannot aspire as a rich prosperous farmer of Punjab is aspiring, because the situations and circumstances of life are totally different from each other among the people. Then students, I also told you yesterday that sometimes there are development conflicting goals between the people. What one person is aspiring for development, it may not be development for the other, and even it may be destructive for the other. So there can be conflicting goals. You remember, I give you example of a landless rural laborer and a prosperous farmer. Again, I want to recall that a landless rural laborer want more wages, better wages, more days of work, whereas a prosperous farmer, he wants cheap labor, should work in lower time, in less time, and so that they have assured income. So there are conflicting goals. I gave you the example of a potter, I gave you the example of a peasant, potter and peasant. I gave you the example of communities living in the river valleys. They never want that there should be multi-purpose projects built over there. But the businessmen, the industrialists, because they want more electricity, they want more water, so they want more amusement, they want more and more multi-purpose projects. So sometimes goals are conflicting goals. Okay, now the summary was in yesterday's topics, in your page number 3 and 4 of NCERT, you can look into it. Summarized way, we can say that income is the first aspiration of all the people. What people aspire is more income. What people aspire is money, because with money they can afford many things in life. And in fact, income is the first factor for development. In any branch of knowledge of social science, when we start, we just talk of economic development, because it is the base for any other development. If we have money, we can afford many things in life. Now, NCERT page number 5, 6, 7, 8. Just go through it and listen to me, and then just go through those pages. We will discuss first of all income and other goals. In yesterday's topics, there were goals, income. In table 1.1, the foremost goal of the people, the aspiration of the people was first and foremost, that was more income. Okay, now apart from income, there are certain goals which are equally important for the development of our personality, for the development and growth of good human resources. Understand, income is first factor. We have discussed so far that it is an important factor for development. But apart from income, there are certain other goals, there are certain other achievements to be done. Because for a proper personality, not only money is required, but with money we need certain other goals also. An example, people having lots of money. With money they can buy material things. Suppose people have lots of money, they have so many cars, so many scooters, so many bungalows, property in the banks. They have the children in the house, they have so many jeans, so many branded shirts, good watches, motorcycles, etc. Luxuries, material things, we can count. So many jeans, so many shirts, so many shoes, so many watches, so many bikes, so many cars. material things with income. But there are certain things in life which are non-material things. Love, affection, security, freedom, equality. Yes, one more thing, respect for others. These things cannot be bought by money. These things are earned by our behavior. Here, money doesn't count. A person may be very poor, but may be very much humble, may be very much dedicated towards the social upliftment, and may not be having lots of material things, lots of money. But even then, the person is very good, having lots of respect in the society, have been honored so many times by the people. A child is not having money, for example, comes to the school, no pocket money today. But we call that child on the stage, we clap for him or her because of good behavior, because of punctuality or any other trait. That will be for him more than money, because all the teachers are appreciating that particular student, that particular child. So income can buy so many material things in life, that is a part of life. But in our life, for a quality of life, I can say quality life, it depends other than income, also on non-material things also. I told you, security, freedom, equality. Nobody wants discrimination. Recall your table 1.1 first point of yesterday's topics, that there is a landless rural laborer, but he doesn't want discrimination, and he can aspire that a day will come that he could also lead the village, he could become the pradhan of the village. Here, income doesn't matter. Here, what matters is personality, your behavior, your love, affection towards the people, your respect to the others, how humble you are before the people, etc., etc. The traits, the qualities that as human beings we should have. Should I give one example here? Yes. Suppose you are doing a job at home. You are with your parents, your brother, sister, all are there. Even if the job gives you less salary, but the other things are there. You are getting your mother's love, you are getting your father's love and security, you are getting respect from your youngers, you are getting lots of security and love and affection from your elders. Even if the salary is less and you are at home, suppose you are provided a job, the same job or another job you are provided, which leaves no time for you, for house, for your family members, and the job is provided to you in which you have to go away, far away from your house. So before accepting, and maybe it is giving you lots of money, lots of salaries there. So before adopting that new job, you will look after that, what will be about my family, what will be about the love, security, affection that I am receiving from my family members, and many other things. So if a person is giving importance only to the material things, the aspirations will be different. And if the person is giving importance to the non-material things as well, the matters will be others. The things will be different. So apart from income, there are certain goals also which count. And sometimes, students, they count much more than income. Sometimes the goals which are other than income, they count a lot in our life for our quality of life, because we become good human beings when we have certain other goals, like I told you, respect for the others. If we give respect, we will receive respect. Love, affection, friendliness. Friends, they are very important in our life. They are not purchased by money, but they are there because of our good behavior. And friendliness, friendship, they play a very important role in our life. So there are certain goals which are considered to be non-material things. Material things are considered with income, I told you, non-material things, and sometimes students, they count a lot in our life, and I told you, they improve the quality of life of the persons. Correct? I hope you understand this topic. Then the second topic will be, for today, it will be mix of goals. Sometimes we talk of mix of goals. Mix of goals, I am telling you, with an example I will give you. See, in the developed countries, in Britain, Germany, etc., females work out, they go out to work, or everybody works in the house, and their social circle increases. Social circle is very vast. In every country, if we see the gender ratio, male and female, the sex ratio, 50% males, 50% females. It is another matter that in some places it is disturbed, but a norm is that there should be 50% male and female. Now, in the European countries, females work. In India, so many women are educated, so many women want to work out, but they do not work out. They do not go out of their home to work or to earn money. Why? Because women are not secure in our society. Because if a woman work outside, if a woman leave house and goes outside for earning money, and because she is educated, she want to work outside, she needs cooperation from home. She needs permission from the elderly people at home. She needs to look after her children, or if she is unmarried, she has to look after her parents or younger ones. She has to be there in the working environment which is safe for her. She should be secure outside, and everywhere females need cooperation, because then they have to look after both the ends. At home also, the family have to be looked after, and at work also she has to be very honest. So if we want many women in India to work out, I told you that many women, your mothers or sisters, they must be very well educated, but they are not working out because of they want mix of goals, because they want security, cooperation, permission, as well as a good working environment for females should be provided. So then what will happen? We are discussing about development. So if all the females, most of the females, not all, at least if they are 50% females, as if 30-40% females are working out, the country will automatically develop. There will be generation of income, there will be economic activities, and automatically the country will develop. So development also depends on the mix of goals. If we want more females to work out, if we want a country to develop, there should be more and more females coming out of their houses, and they are made to work in a safe and very good environment. So this is known as mix of goals. If in board examination you are asked this topic, give example of the female like I gave you, and it is also given in your NCERT. Right, students? So this is mix of goals. The third topic for today will be national development. A very common question. What is national development? If I ask this question in my class, if there are 40 students sitting in my class, there could be 40 answers. Understand? Suppose if I ask my students, what do you mean by national development? There could be, if 40 students are sitting, there could be 40 answers. Why? Because everyone considers development in its own way. Like for example, I have so many times I have told you that India is a very big country, territory wise as well as population wise. European countries are smaller than Indian states in some aspects. If we see the size of population or if we see the territory. So national development means different things to different people. National development means different things to different people. And moreover, when we seek the national development for a country, we have to set certain goals that for which we want to know the development of a country. Again, if we want to know the development of a nation according to the income, then the criteria will be different. Only income will be seen, that what is the GDP, what is the national income, or what is the per capita income of a country. That will be a different issue. And if we are asking the national development of a country according to the non-material things which I just now discussed with you, the criteria will be different. That will lead to mortality rate, literacy rate, then average age of the people, how many medical facilities are provided, and vice versa. So all these things will be taken care of if we talk of national development. And you must have this watching it, and must be going on in your mind that national development is a very complex issue, because everybody will consider the issue of national development in its own way. Someone will say that India can develop, national development will take place in India if population is controlled. which I tell students that it's the root cause of all the problems in India. Some will say that unemployment should be removed, then there will be national development. Some will say poverty should be removed. Some will say that all these riots and all, they should be strictly tackled. But there can be so many answers. But how can we answer all these? We cannot write all the things in our answers. So our convenience, for national development, we adopt two criteria all over the world. Two criteria are adopted if we talk of national development for a country. If we want to know what is national development and how national development can be seen and how countries can be compared, whether they are developed or not developed. So this question and this answer we are discussing here. There are two criteria, students, to know about the national development and also to compare the countries, and that is the criteria adopted by the World Bank and the criteria adopted by the United Nations Development Program, that is UNDP. Correct? World Bank, it considers only income as the criteria to know the national development of a country and to compare the countries on the basis of income. And according to an old notion, in NCERT it is given in dollars, you can do that. In the old publications it is given as World Bank establishes the criteria that in a country where average income of the people is 4,53,000 annually and above, 4,53,000 annual average income and above, those countries are placed as developed countries. Means people are well placed over there and these are developed countries. Understand? Now, United Nations Development Program, in short it is UNDP, it considers that apart from income, listen very carefully, I am not missing income here. Including income, apart from income, there are certain goals, there are certain things that should be taken into consideration if we are discussing about the national development. And that will be mortality rate of a country, how many children are born in a year and how many die before completing their first year or before celebrating their first birthday. And then we have to know that what is the literacy rate in a country, how many people are literate, average. We will use averages in it. And then we have to know what is the net attendance ratio in primary, in secondary and higher level education. What is the attendance ratio of the people? So this is the criteria adopted by the United Nations Development Program to know whether the nation is developed or not developed, and also to compare the countries, to compare the nations whether they are developed or not developed. Understand? Now here I have used a term average income, which I must tell you what is average income. In yesterday's lecture I gave you the examples of national income in the day before also. National income means the value of the final goods and services produced in a country in a year plus income coming from abroad. This gives us national income. So students, when national income is divided by the total population of a country, there is national income that is calculated what is the national income of a country, and when it is divided by the total population of a country, it gives us per capita income, and broadly it is called average income. Correct? So this average is used to know whether the countries are developed or not developed. So these are the two criteria that have been adopted by the economists in the world. One criteria by the World Bank, income is considered to be an important aspect, and the criteria of UNDP considers the other aspects also other than income. Apart from income, there should be education, health, etc. That how much a country is spending on the health of the citizens, on the health of the people, and how much care they are taking for their human resources. So that is all for today. Tomorrow we will discuss about average and further discuss about the public facilities. Thank you very much and have a very nice day.